Many seniors believe that a glass of plain water before bed is one of the healthiest habits they can keep. Feels simple, safe, and natural. But after the age of 60, that very glass of water may be the reason you find yourself staring at the clock at 2 or 3 in the morning, wide awake and frustrated. The truth is, plain water does nothing to calm your nerves, warm your body, or provide the gentle nutrients, like magnesium, glycine, and tryptophan, that your system relies on to drift into deep, natural sleep. Instead, it slips straight to your bladder, and because aging makes the bladder more sensitive and less able to hold liquid, it sends an urgent signal much earlier than it used to. Suddenly, you are pulled out of a much-needed sleep cycle, and falling back asleep feels almost impossible. The good news is you don't have to stop drinking at night. You don't need to give up the comfort of a warm glass in your hands. What you truly need is a smarter choice. Drinks designed to soothe your nerves, help your body stay balanced, and let you sleep deeply without being jolted awake in the middle of the night. Tonight could be the first night you finally rest again. There's something quietly comforting about the ritual of holding a warm cup in your hands before bed. For many people, it used to be a glass of cow's milk, warmed gently on the stove, perhaps with a touch of honey. It was the drink mothers gave their children in hopes of chasing away bad dreams, the drink grandmothers poured before sending everyone off to bed. But as we get older, our bodies begin to change in ways that make that old ritual less soothing than it once was. Lactose intolerance becomes more common, digestion slows down, and the very thing that once settled our stomach can start leaving us bloated or restless. That is where almond milk quietly steps into the picture. Not the sugary, flavored cartons you might see lining the supermarket shelves, but a simple, unsweetened version, warm just enough to send a wave of calm through your body. Almond milk has been around for centuries, long before it was a trendy item in coffee shops. In the Middle Ages, when refrigeration was unknown and cow's milk spoiled quickly, almond milk was a trusted alternative across Europe and the Middle East. Today, it has become a staple in American households not just for those avoiding dairy, but also for people searching for gentler, more nourishing options as they age. And when you drink it warm before bedtime, it becomes something even more powerful, a natural ally for deep, restorative sleep. The secret lies in its quiet chemistry. Almonds are naturally rich in magnesium and tryptophan, two nutrients that play a direct role in the delicate orchestra of sleep. Magnesium is often called the relaxation mineral, and for good reason. It regulates the activity of your nervous system, slowing down overactive signals that keep your muscles twitching and your thoughts racing long past the time when your body wants to rest. Without enough magnesium, it's like trying to fall asleep while the lights are still on and the radio is playing in the background. Your body doesn't quite get the message that it's time to shut down. Tryptophan, on the other hand, is a gentle amino acid, famous for the drowsy contentment many people feel after a Thanksgiving meal. But its true magic isn't in making you sleepy. Tryptophan is the raw material your body uses to create serotonin and later convert it into melatonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that gives you a sense of calm, safety, and emotional balance. Melatonin is the hormone that signals your brain that night has come, that it's time to slip into sleep. Without tryptophan, your body struggles to produce these crucial messengers, leaving you tossing and turning, unable to find the peace you crave. When you sip on warm, unsweetened almond milk in the evening, you are giving your body both of these keys at once. Magnesium calms the nerves and loosens tight muscles. Tryptophan starts its quiet transformation into the chemicals of calm and rest. Together, they create the perfect setting for your body to drift into slumber, not by forcing drowsiness like a sleeping pill would, but by gently guiding your natural rhythm back on track. What makes almond milk especially suitable for seniors is its gentleness on digestion. Cow's milk, even when organic and fresh, contains lactose that many older adults find increasingly difficult to break down. After 60, the small intestine produces far less lactase, the enzyme needed to digest lactose. The result can be bloating, gas, or a stomach that churns when you least want it to, right before sleep. Almond milk sidesteps this problem entirely. Unsweetened versions contain no lactose and are far easier on the digestive system, meaning you can sip it warm at night without paying for it later with discomfort or restlessness. Another crucial point: unsweetened almond milk will not spike your blood sugar. Many seniors, whether they've been diagnosed with diabetes, prediabetes, or are simply mindful of their blood sugar levels, know that a nighttime spike can sabotage sleep. Sugary drinks, flavored milks, or even natural sweeteners can raise blood glucose, setting off a chain reaction in the body that disrupts your night. Unsweetened almond milk, with its low-calorie and low-carbohydrate profile, provides the calming nutrients without the unwanted sugar. Your body stays steady, your insulin levels remain calm, and your nervous system is free to move toward rest. Science backs up what tradition has quietly known. In 2014, researchers published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences conducted a study on adults who drank almond milk twice a day for 2 weeks. The results were eye-opening. Participants increased their average deep sleep time by 22 minutes each night. They woke up fewer times, and when morning came, they reported feeling clearer, more alert, and far less groggy than before. For anyone who has ever stared at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, those 22 extra minutes of deep sleep are not just numbers on a page. They are the difference between dragging through the day and greeting the morning with a steady step. Imagine this scene. It's late evening, the television is off, the house has grown quiet. Instead of pouring a glass of water that will send you to the bathroom before dawn, you warm just half a cup of almond milk, about 120 to 150 milliliters. You might sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, not for sweetness, but for its gentle warming effect on circulation. You sit in your favorite chair, hands cradling the cup, and take slow, unhurried sips. The warmth moves through your chest, your shoulders drop, and with each sip, you feel a small wave of relaxation spreading through your body. By the time you've finished, your mind has already begun to shift gears. This simple act becomes more than a drink. It is a ritual, a signal to your body that the day is over and rest is coming. Older adults often ask whether such a small amount could make a difference. The truth is, when it comes to nighttime habits, less is often more. One small glass provides enough nutrients to trigger the calming effect without overwhelming your bladder or digestive system. Drinking more doesn't mean sleeping better. It often means waking up earlier with discomfort. A modest, mindful sip is all you need. There's another layer of benefit worth noting. Almond milk also supports bone health. While it doesn't naturally contain calcium, most commercial versions are fortified, giving you a dose of this essential mineral at the very moment your body is preparing to rest and repair itself. Combined with magnesium, this calcium can help support stronger bones and steadier muscles. 2 things every senior wants to preserve as the years go by. When you wake in the morning, it's not only your mind that feels clearer, it's your legs that feel lighter, your joints that feel a little less stiff. For many people, the simple act of choosing almond milk over water at night has become transformative. One woman, a retired teacher in her 70s, described how she had spent years waking up around 2:30 every morning, unable to fall back asleep. She tried over-the-counter sleep aids, but they left her groggy. She experimented with teas, but most made her bladder too active. Then she switched to a small cup of warm, unsweetened almond milk an hour before bed. Within 3 nights, she noticed the difference. She stayed asleep longer, and when she did wake, she could fall back asleep much more easily. "It was as if my body had been waiting for something this simple all along," she said. There is also the emotional comfort to consider. Many people associate a warm cup of milk with childhood safety, with being cared for, with the quiet end of the day. Almond milk, with its gentle warmth and mild flavor, recreates that feeling without the discomfort dairy can bring. For seniors who live alone, or for those who miss the routines of earlier years, this nightly ritual becomes more than nutrition. It becomes a form of self-kindness, a reminder that even in the quiet of the evening, you can care for yourself in ways that matter deeply. The key is to keep it simple. Choose an unsweetened, additive-free version of almond milk. Heat it gently, never boiling, just warm enough to soothe. Add a pinch of cinnamon if you like, or even a dash of nutmeg, but avoid sugar or flavored syrups that undo the very benefits you're seeking. Drink it about 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime, giving your body time to absorb the nutrients, shift into calm, and prepare your bladder before sleep. Think of it not as an afterthought, but as part of your nighttime routine, like brushing your teeth or setting out your clothes for the next day. In a world that sells quick fixes and chemical solutions, it can feel surprising that something as humble as almond milk can make such a difference. But often, the body responds best to small, steady gestures, the kinds of changes that work with your natural rhythm rather than against it. Warm, unsweetened almond milk doesn't knock you out. It doesn't override your system. Instead, it works with what you already have, supporting your nerves, your hormones, and your sleep cycles so you can do what you were meant to do all along. Rest deeply, heal, and wake ready for another day. So, if you find yourself dreading the nightly cycle of falling asleep only to wake at 2 or 3 a.m., Try this simple change tonight. Skip the glass of plain water that sends you to the bathroom too soon. Pour yourself a small cup of almond milk, warm it gently, and let it become your ritual. Feel the calm settle into your body as the magnesium and tryptophan begin their quiet work. Let your nervous system soften, your thoughts slow down, and your eyelids grow heavy. Sometimes, the path back to deep sleep isn't found in stronger medicine or stricter routines. It's found in the gentle, nourishing touch of something as simple as a warm drink cradled in your hands. When morning comes, and you rise without the fog of broken sleep, you'll know that the difference didn't come from something complicated or expensive. It came from a small glass of almond milk, chosen with intention, used with care. It came from giving your body the exact support it has been asking for all along. And perhaps, as you sip that same warm cup tomorrow night, you'll wonder why you didn't start this ritual years earlier. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Certain smells and tastes seem to carry us back through time, wrapping us in a comfort we can't quite put into words. For many people, chamomile tea is one of those timeless comforts. The very sight of its pale golden color and the gentle aroma rising from the cup can feel like a soft blanket being pulled over a weary mind. It has been a friend to restless souls for centuries, whispered about in folk medicine, brewed quietly in kitchens around the world, and passed down as a remedy that mothers gave their children on stormy nights. But chamomile tea isn't just an old-fashioned ritual or a sentimental drink. For seniors who struggle to sleep through the night, it can be one of the simplest, safest, and most powerful tools available. When we talk about sleep, we often focus on what we can see and measure. The number of hours we're in bed, how many times we wake up, how tired we feel in the morning. But underneath all of that is the silent work of our nervous system, a delicate balance of signals that decides whether our brain is in alert mode or rest mode. For people over 60, this system often tilts the wrong way. The brain, instead of slowing down, continues to buzz with activity late into the night. Thoughts circle endlessly. Worries that seem small during the day suddenly expand in the silence of midnight. Even when exhaustion is heavy, the nervous system refuses to quiet down. That's where chamomile tea does its work. The secret lies in a natural compound called apigenin. Chamomile flowers, when steeped in hot water, release this powerful flavonoid. Once in your system, apigenin binds directly to GABA receptors in the brain. These receptors are like little switches that help regulate anxiety, tension, and the rhythm of sleep. When apigenin activates them, the brain receives a clear message. It's time to slow down. The chatter of thoughts begins to soften, the heart rate eases, and the nervous system starts shifting into rest mode. Unlike sleeping pills, which force the body into drowsiness whether it's ready or not, chamomile acts more like a gentle guide, reminding the body of what it already knows how to do: rest, release, and sleep. Imagine lying in bed with your eyes closed, but your mind racing. You replay conversations from the day, worry about tomorrow's errands, and feel frustration rising as the clock ticks later. Now imagine instead that you've spent 10 quiet minutes before bed sipping a warm cup of chamomile tea. As you hold the cup in your hands, you breathe in the steam, the floral scent filling your chest. Each sip is small, slow, and intentional. By the time you've finished, your muscles feel less tense, your breathing has settled, and the edges of your thoughts are less sharp. That's apigenin at work, calming the excitability of the brain and setting the stage for natural, restorative sleep. The benefits of chamomile tea aren't just a matter of tradition, they've been confirmed in modern studies. In 2015, a clinical trial published in the Journal of Advanced Nursing tested chamomile tea on women over 65 who were struggling with poor sleep. After drinking chamomile tea every evening for 2 weeks, the results were striking. The time it took to fall asleep dropped by an average of 16 minutes. Nighttime awakenings decreased by more than 30%. Most importantly, 80% of participants reported feeling deeper, more pleasant sleep the next morning. For anyone who knows the frustration of lying awake, those extra minutes of uninterrupted rest can feel like a gift. One of the most beautiful qualities of chamomile tea is its simplicity. It contains no caffeine, no addictive chemicals, and no hidden stimulants that can disrupt your body later in the night. You don't need a prescription, and you don't need to worry about side effects like grogginess, dizziness, or dependency, things that often come with over-the-counter sleep aids. Chamomile doesn't impose sleep, it invites it. That's what makes it especially safe for seniors, whose systems are often more sensitive and whose nights are often disrupted by medication side effects or fragile sleep cycles. Another reason chamomile tea works so well for older adults is that it provides a sense of ritual. Sleep isn't only about biology, it's also about rhythm, routine, and the signals we give our bodies about when it's time to rest. By brewing a cup of tea, letting it steep, waiting patiently, and then sipping slowly, you create a consistent nighttime practice. This repetition itself becomes a signal to the brain. The day is ending, and sleep is coming. Over time, the very act of holding a warm cup can be enough to start the relaxation process, even before the tea reaches your bloodstream. For those who are skeptical, think of how we train children to sleep. We don't simply turn off the lights and demand that they rest. We create a ritual, baths, stories, lullabies, that gradually guides them into a calmer state. Adults need rituals too, especially as we age and our internal rhythms become more fragile. Chamomile tea offers just that, a grown-up lullaby in a cup, one that speaks to both the mind and the body. There are, of course, small details that make the difference between an ordinary cup of chamomile and a truly effective nighttime ritual. 4.1. Timing matters. The best time to drink chamomile tea is about 45 to 60 minutes before bed. This gives your body enough time to absorb the epigenin and begin calming the nervous system without forcing you to run to the bathroom right as you're drifting off. The way you prepare the tea matters too. Steeping the tea bag or dried flowers for 5 to 7 minutes releases the full range of calming compounds without making the tea too bitter. Letting it cool slightly ensures that you sip slowly and comfortably, not rushed or burned. And while many people are tempted to add honey or sugar, it's best to avoid extra sweeteners, especially for seniors mindful of blood sugar levels. If you want a touch of added warmth, a slice of ginger or a drop of natural vanilla can enhance the flavor without disturbing your sleep. Some people worry that drinking tea at night will only make them wake up to use the bathroom, but the small volume of liquid, about half a cup to 1 cup, is usually well tolerated. Compared to plain water, chamomile tea may reduce nighttime awakenings because of its calming effect on the bladder and nervous system. The warmth of the tea helps relax the body's smooth muscles, including those around the bladder, making it less likely to send urgent signals while you sleep. There's also something deeply comforting about the flavor itself. Chamomile has a natural sweetness and floral softness that lingers on the tongue, unlike harsh or bitter herbal teas. It feels gentle, like a conversation with an old friend, reminding you that you don't need to rush, you don't need to fight sleep, you only need to let it come. Real stories bring these benefits to life. One gentleman in his late 60s shared how he had battled restless nights for years after retiring. He tried everything, avoiding caffeine, adjusting his pillows, even using sound machines, but nothing seemed to keep him asleep past 2 in the morning. His daughter suggested chamomile tea. Skeptical, he agreed to try it. Within the first week, he noticed he was falling asleep faster and waking less. It wasn't dramatic, he admitted, but it was steady. Each night, I felt like I was slowly retraining my body to remember how to rest. Now, it's become a ritual he looks forward to every evening. Another woman, 72 and widowed, said that chamomile tea became more than just a sleep aid for her, it became a form of comfort. Drinking it made her feel connected to her late mother, who always brewed chamomile when someone in the house couldn't sleep. It felt like she was still watching over me, she said. For her, the tea offered not only better sleep but also a kind of emotional healing, a reminder that even in solitude, she could find warmth and care. The beauty of chamomile tea is that it fits so seamlessly into the lives of older adults. It doesn't require major changes, expensive supplements, or complicated routines. It asks only for a little time, a little patience, and the willingness to slow down and nurture yourself. In exchange, it offers what so many seniors crave, a chance to sleep more deeply, wake less often, and greet the morning with a clearer mind and lighter spirit. Of course, chamomile tea isn't a miracle. It won't cure every sleep problem, and it won't work the same for everyone. But for many, it is a gentle and reliable step toward better nights. And when combined with other healthy habits, dimmed lights in the evening, a comfortable sleep environment, and mindful bedtime rituals, it can become the cornerstone of a restful routine. If you've never tried chamomile tea before bed, consider starting tonight. Choose a high-quality version, ideally organic, free of additives and artificial flavors. Brew it with care, sip it slowly, and pay attention to how your body responds over the next few nights. Notice whether your thoughts quiet more easily, whether your heart feels steadier, whether the morning feels a little less heavy. Often, the changes are subtle at first, but they build over time, creating a foundation of rest that strengthens with each cup. Sleep after 60 doesn't have to be a nightly battle. You don't need to resign yourself to endless awakenings or rely on medications that leave you foggy. Sometimes, the solution is as close as your kitchen, waiting in a small packet of dried flowers. Chamomile tea is not just a drink. It is a reminder that nature has given us tools for healing, for calming, for restoring balance, even in the later chapters of life. So tonight, when the house grows quiet and the day begins to fade, take a few minutes for yourself. Put the kettle on, steep the flowers, and let the aroma fill your kitchen. Cradle the cup in your hands, breathe deeply, and sip slowly. Let the warmth move through your chest, the flavor settle on your tongue, and the calm spread through your body. And as you lie down to rest, trust that this simple ritual is guiding you back toward the deep, unbroken sleep you deserve. When most of us think of coconut water, our minds drift to images of beaches, palm trees, and hot summer afternoons. It feels like a drink for vacations or tropical getaways, not something you'd expect to find in a nighttime routine for better sleep. But appearances can be deceiving. For seniors who struggle with restless nights, frequent awakenings, or the nagging urge to get up and use the bathroom, coconut water, used correctly, can become a quiet ally in the pursuit of deeper, uninterrupted rest. The trick lies not in drinking it cold straight from the fridge, as most people do, but in gently warming and moderating it so that it supports your body's rhythms instead of disrupting them. Sleep after 60 is rarely simple. The body changes in ways that feel unfair. Hormones that once protected your rest, like melatonin and the anti-diuretic hormone that helps you hold water longer at night, begin to fade. Nerves that once ignored small bladder signals suddenly become more sensitive, pulling you awake at the slightest stretch. And minerals that keep the muscles calm and steady, including those that control the bladder, can slip out of balance. It's not uncommon for older adults to wake up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night, not because they drank too much, but because the body no longer holds onto balance the way it once did. That's where coconut water quietly steps in. Unlike plain water, which simply hydrates and quickly fills the bladder, coconut water is naturally rich in potassium, magnesium, and sodium, a trio of electrolytes that play an essential role in keeping the nervous system calm, the bladder less irritable, and the body's delicate fluid balance steady through the night. Think of them as the conductors in an orchestra. When they're present in the right amounts, the instruments, your nerves, your muscles, your heartbeat, play in harmony. When they're missing or uneven, the entire performance is disrupted. Potassium is one of the most important of these minerals. It regulates the electrical signals that control muscle contractions, including those in the bladder. Without enough potassium, muscles can twitch, spasm, or send false signals, which is one reason people with low potassium often suffer from leg cramps or nighttime urges to urinate. Studies have shown that older adults with low potassium levels are far more likely to experience fragmented sleep and increased bathroom trips during the night. Restoring that balance through natural sources, like coconut water, can help reduce those disruptions. Magnesium, sometimes called the calming mineral, plays its own critical role. It relaxes smooth muscle tissue, including the bladder wall, while also calming the nervous system. If magnesium is low, the bladder may contract too early, sending you out of bed at 2 a.m. for no good reason. And beyond bladder health, magnesium helps slow down racing thoughts and restless nerves, giving both the body and the mind a chance to unwind. Then there is sodium. Though often criticized in our modern diets, sodium in its natural form is essential for maintaining proper hydration. It helps the body hold on to just enough water without sending the excess directly to the bladder. When balanced with potassium and magnesium, sodium creates the right internal environment for hydration to stay in your tissues, muscles, nerves, cells, rather than rushing straight to your kidneys. Taken together, these electrolytes make coconut water more than just a refreshing beverage. They turn it into a gentle regulator, quietly supporting the systems that too often betray seniors at night. And yet, the way coconut water is consumed makes all the difference. The most common mistake is drinking it cold, straight from the refrigerator. That burst of chill may feel refreshing during the day, but at night it shocks the digestive system and lowers core body temperature just when you need warmth and relaxation to fall asleep. Cold drinks stimulate the bladder and can trigger contractions, making nighttime awakenings more likely. Warming coconut water slightly, just enough to take away the chill, changes everything. It soothes instead of shocks, relaxes instead of irritates. It becomes a signal of calm, not a jolt of alertness. Another mistake is drinking it too close to bedtime. Because coconut water still contains liquid volume, downing a glass right before lying down will almost guarantee a bathroom trip later in the night. The key is to drink it earlier, ideally an hour or more before bed. This gives your body time to absorb the minerals, use them to calm the nervous system, and stabilize hydration before you settle into sleep. That way, by the time you climb into bed, your bladder isn't overstretched, but your tissues are nourished and your system is balanced. Imagine this routine. After dinner, as the evening begins to wind down, you pour yourself half a glass of fresh coconut water, about 100 to 120 milliliters. You dilute it with an equal part of warm water, stirring gently so that the temperature is soothing. Perhaps you could add a thin slice of ginger for warmth and to aid digestion. Then you sip it slowly, not rushed, over 10 or 15 minutes. The minerals begin to do their work, calming nerves, steadying muscle contractions, and preventing the bladder from sending false alarms. By the time you prepare for bed, your body feels quietly supported, like a well-tuned instrument ready to play through the night. Science backs this up. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Sleep Disorders Research found that older adults with lower potassium levels experienced nearly 28% more nighttime urination than those with balanced electrolytes. When their mineral levels were gently restored through natural food sources, including coconut water, sleep quality improved within a week. While the study was small, it confirmed what many have long suspected. Sometimes, poor sleep isn't about the brain alone. It's about the body's ability to maintain balance, even at rest. But as with any remedy, coconut water comes with cautions. Those with kidney problems or conditions requiring potassium restriction should avoid it unless cleared by a doctor. Coconut water is naturally high in potassium, and while that's a blessing for most, it can be dangerous for some. Moderation is key. No more than a small diluted glass in the evening. More is not better. For seniors, the benefits often extend beyond the night. By supporting hydration and mineral balance, coconut water can reduce daytime fatigue, leg cramps, and feelings of weakness. Many older adults who add it to their routines report feeling steadier on their feet in the morning, with fewer episodes of dizziness upon standing. It's as if the gentle balance created during the night carries over into the day, leaving the body stronger and the mind clearer. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Take, for example, a man in his early 70s who had battled restless legs and frequent nighttime awakenings for years. He tried sleeping pills, only to wake up groggy and dependent on them. On the advice of a friend, he began sipping a diluted warmed glass of coconut water an hour after dinner. Within 3 nights, he noticed fewer cramps and slept longer stretches. "It didn't knock me out," he explained, "but it kept my body calm. I stopped waking up every time my legs twitched or my bladder got the smallest urge." Or consider the story of a woman in her late 60s who was skeptical of natural remedies but desperate for change. She had resigned herself to waking every 2 hours, thinking it was simply part of aging. After trying warmed coconut water, she reported sleeping 5 hours straight for the first time in years. "It felt like my body remembered how to rest," she said. "I never thought something so simple could make such a difference." There's also a psychological benefit worth noting. For many seniors, sleep problems create a cycle of fear. Fear of lying awake, fear of waking up, fear of the next exhausting day. Adding a gentle, nurturing ritual, something as simple as sipping warm coconut water, can break that cycle. It provides not only nutrients but reassurance. The act of preparing and drinking becomes a nightly reminder that you are taking care of yourself, that you are not helpless in the face of sleepless nights. And unlike pills or artificial supplements, this ritual connects you to something natural and life-giving. Coconut water comes straight from the fruit of a tree, unprocessed and unpretentious. Drinking it is a way of aligning with nature's wisdom, allowing your body to heal with what the earth provides. For people who grew up in a time when remedies were simple and food was medicine, this feels familiar, trustworthy, and deeply human. The path to better sleep in later life rarely lies in a single solution. It is built from many small choices: dimming the lights, keeping the bedroom cool, avoiding caffeine, and creating bedtime rituals. Warm coconut water is one of those small but powerful choices. It doesn't override your system or force drowsiness. It works with your body's needs, gently calming, balancing, and restoring what time and age have slowly worn away. So tonight, as you think about your bedtime routine, consider replacing that glass of plain water with something smarter. Pour a small serving of coconut water, warm it gently, and let it carry its minerals into your system. Drink it early enough to avoid midnight trips, and let it become a ritual of care, as familiar and comforting as saying goodnight. You may find that instead of waking at 2 or 3 with an urgent bladder or restless legs, you sleep more soundly, wake more refreshed, and greet the morning with a body that feels lighter and steadier. Sometimes, the difference between a restless night and a restful one lies not in big changes, but in small, intentional choices. And a warm glass of diluted coconut water could be just the choice your body has been waiting for. There's a reason people have called turmeric golden for centuries. It isn't just because of its brilliant color, the kind that stains your fingertips and glows in a cup of milk like sunlight captured in liquid form. It's because turmeric, especially when paired with the right ingredients, has a golden effect on the body, quieting inflammation, calming stress, and for those who drink it at night, guiding the body toward deeper, more restorative sleep. For seniors searching for a natural way to ease into the night without relying on heavy medications, golden milk with black pepper may be one of the simplest, most comforting remedies available. To understand why golden milk is so effective, it helps to look at the silent battles our bodies fight as we age. Many older adults think they can't sleep because of restless legs, frequent trips to the bathroom, or the occasional ache. And while those issues are real, one of the deeper culprits is cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol isn't bad in itself. It helps you wake up in the morning, respond to challenges, and keep your energy steady during the day. But when cortisol remains high at night, it becomes an enemy of sleep. Your heart rate stays elevated, your brain keeps scanning the environment as if danger is near, and your nervous system refuses to shift into rest mode. You may not even feel stressed in the traditional sense. You might be sitting calmly in bed, but your biology is still on high alert. That's where curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, comes in. Curcumin has been shown to regulate the HPA axis, the communication line between the brain, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal glands that control cortisol. By gently calming this system, curcumin helps lower cortisol production and allows your brain to release GABA, the neurotransmitter of calm. GABA is what quiets racing thoughts, slows down brain activity, and prepares the body for rest. Without enough GABA activity, the mind stays restless, flipping through worries and unfinished tasks like a television stuck on fast forward. Curcumin, in essence, presses the pause button, giving your brain permission to slow down. But curcumin alone isn't enough. The human body struggles to absorb it on its own. That's where black pepper, specifically its compound piperine, makes all the difference. Piperine activates certain enzymes in the gut that increase curcumin absorption by 7 to 8 times. Without it, most of the turmeric passes right through your system unused. With it, curcumin becomes available to do its quiet work, calming the stress response, easing inflammation, and helping your brain prepare for sleep. When you combine turmeric, black pepper, and a warm milk base, you create something greater than the sum of its parts. A drink that not only lowers stress but also addresses one of the other major disruptors of senior sleep, inflammation and joint pain. Anyone over 60 knows the experience of lying in bed with shoulders that ache, knees that throb, or hips that protest every shift in position. Even when the mind feels ready to rest, the body keeps crying out. Curcumin has natural anti-inflammatory properties, reducing the signals that cause swelling and pain in joints and tissues. Taken at night, it not only prepares the brain for rest but also soothes the body, making it easier to stay comfortable through the night. Picture this. It's an ordinary evening, and your day has left you with a familiar soreness in your lower back. You've tried adjusting pillows, changing mattresses, and even stretching before bed, but the ache lingers. Instead of reaching for a pill bottle, you head to the kitchen. You pour 150 milliliters of almond, oat, or walnut milk into a small pan and warm it gently until steam rises. Into the milk, you stir half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a small pinch of black pepper. The color blooms instantly, golden, vibrant, comforting. You take slow sips, the warmth spreading through your chest, the earthy flavor settling in your stomach, and within an hour, the ache feels less sharp, your breathing feels easier, and your body is ready to let go of the day. The science is striking. In 2007, researchers published a study in the journal Neuropsychopharmacology showing that just 3 grams of glycine taken before bed helped older adults fall into deeper sleep, wake up fewer times during the night, and most importantly, feel noticeably more refreshed in the morning. Unlike sleeping pills, which often create artificial drowsiness followed by morning grogginess, glycine improved the restorative quality of sleep. Participants woke up clearer, lighter, and more energized. For seniors who often feel trapped in a cycle of restless nights and foggy mornings, those results are life-changing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But the benefits of gelatin and bone broth don't stop at sleep. Glycine is also a key building block of collagen, the protein that makes up your skin, joints, tendons, and even parts of your bones. After 60, collagen production slows dramatically. Skin becomes thinner, joints ache, and muscles take longer to recover from strain. Drinking warm gelatin or bone broth before bed provides your body with raw materials at the very time it needs them most, during sleep, when tissue repair and muscle recovery take place. It's like giving your body the tools and the time to patch up the wear and tear of the day. Think about how many mornings you've woken up stiff, your knees aching, your back sore, your joints reluctant to move. Now imagine giving your body a nightly ritual that doesn't just help you sleep, but also supports those joints and tissues while you rest. Instead of waking up feeling broken, you wake up feeling repaired, like the night has worked in your favor. That's the quiet promise of bone broth and gelatin. There's also a digestive benefit. Bone broth contains not just glycine, but also proline and glutamine, amino acids that support the lining of the gut. For older adults dealing with indigestion, bloating, or sensitivity to certain foods, this can make a real difference. A calmer stomach at night means fewer interruptions, less discomfort, and more peaceful rest. And because bone broth is light, especially when diluted, it doesn't overload the digestive system or spike blood sugar, 2 things that often sabotage senior sleep. Preparing this nightly drink doesn't have to be complicated. If you're using gelatin, simply dissolve 1 teaspoon of unflavored powder into about 120 milliliters of warm water. Stir thoroughly until it's smooth, then sip it slowly over 10 to 15 minutes. If you prefer bone broth, choose a low-sodium version, either homemade or store-bought. Warm it gently until it's soothing but not scalding. Drink it on its own, without heavy foods, to allow better absorption. The volume should be small, no more than half a cup, enough to nourish without overwhelming the bladder or digestive system. For many, the taste itself is part of the comfort. Gelatin dissolved in warm water has a neutral, slightly soft flavor that goes down easily. Bone broth carries a savory richness that feels grounding, almost like being cared for by a loved one. For seniors who grew up in households where broth simmered for hours on the stove, this ritual may stir memories of family, security, and simpler times. It's not just about the nutrients, it's about the emotional calm that comes with revisiting those roots. And that emotional calm matters. Sleep is never just physical. Anxiety, loneliness, and mental strain can keep seniors awake long after their bodies are tired. Sipping a warm, nourishing drink at night becomes a signal to the mind as much as the body. It says, the day is over, you are safe, you are cared for, you can let go now. That message, repeated nightly, can be just as powerful as the glycine itself. Real stories highlight just how transformative this ritual can be. One man, age 70, had long suffered from insomnia. He resisted medication, fearing dependency, but nothing seemed to help. A friend suggested he try bone broth at night. Skeptical, he finally agreed. Within a week, he noticed he was waking up less and, when he did wake, he could fall back asleep more easily. It wasn't dramatic, he said, but it was steady. Each night felt a little better. I began to trust my nights again. Another woman, 68, who had lived with arthritis for years, said that drinking a small cup of warm gelatin water before bed became her secret weapon. I started for sleep, she explained, but what I noticed first was my morning stiffness. It wasn't gone, but it was lighter. I could stand up more easily, and I didn't dread the mornings like I used to. For her, the ritual was more than sleep. It was about reclaiming comfort and mobility. Of course, like any natural remedy, moderation and timing are key. Too much broth can overwhelm the stomach or increase sodium levels, especially in store-bought versions. That's why dilution is important. Half broth, half warm water is often ideal. And drinking it about 30 to 45 minutes before bed ensures your body absorbs the nutrients while still leaving time to use the bathroom one last time before sleep. Remember, the goal is to calm the body, not to load it with fluids that will send you out of bed at 3 a.m. Another tip is consistency. Like golden milk or chamomile tea, the benefits of gelatin and bone broth build with routine. One night may bring some comfort, but a week or two of nightly practice is what allows your body to adjust, repair, and strengthen. The cumulative effect is where the real magic lies. The beauty of this ritual is that it costs little, requires minimal effort, and carries no risk of addiction or harsh side effects. It doesn't override your system, it doesn't leave you foggy, and it doesn't ask you to change your entire lifestyle. It simply gives your body what it needs: glycine, collagen, warmth, and comfort, at the exact time it can use them best. So many seniors today feel powerless against their changing bodies. They resign themselves to poor sleep, aching joints, and the fog of fatigue, believing these are unavoidable parts of aging. But the truth is, while aging brings challenges, it also brings wisdom. The wisdom to know that small, intentional habits can transform the way we feel. A cup of warm gelatin or diluted bone broth may seem too simple, but often it's the simple things that have the most profound impact. As you think about your nights, consider this. What if the answer isn't found in stronger medications, but in gentler nourishment? What if, instead of forcing your body into sleep, you gave it the tools to rest naturally, to repair itself, and to wake stronger than before? That's the promise held in a humble cup of golden broth. Tonight, as you prepare for bed, imagine giving yourself that gift. Dissolve a spoonful of gelatin in warm water or warm up a small bowl of bone broth. Sip it slowly, feel the warmth spread through your body, and trust the process. Let the glycine calm your heart, cool your body, and settle your mind. Let the collagen and amino acids go to work, rebuilding what the day has worn down. And when you lie your head on the pillow, know that you have given your body not just comfort, but care. Because sleep after 60 doesn't have to be a nightly battle. It can be a time of peace, healing, and renewal. And sometimes, all it takes is a small, steady ritual. A warm cup in your hands, a familiar taste on your tongue, and the quiet assurance that you are doing something profoundly good for yourself. As the years pass, many people assume that waking in the middle of the night is simply part of growing older. But it doesn't have to be that way. Even after 60, your body is still capable of 6 to 7 hours of steady, restorative rest. You just need to give it the right support. The truth is, plain water before bed may not always serve you well, but replacing it with a warm, nutrient-rich drink can make all the difference. A small cup, just 100 to 150 milliliters, taken at the right time can calm your nerves, steady your heart, and help you sleep without being startled awake at 2 or 3 in the morning. You don't need prescription pills, and you don't need to resign yourself to restless nights. What you need is a gentle change in routine. Choose one drink, warm it instead of chilling it, and sip it slowly about an hour before bed. Let it become your evening ritual, a quiet act of care that signals to your body that it's time to rest. Try each option for a week, notice how your body responds, and find the one that feels best for you. Small habits can create big transformations. Tonight, you have the power to choose comfort, healing, and real rest. If this message spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments which drink you'll try first, and let us know how it works for you. Your experience may inspire someone else. And if you found this helpful, please tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. Together, we can build a community where restful nights and brighter mornings are possible at any age.